everybody, RutiCelli here. I'm an improvising cellist, classically trained cellist, who's also a composer. I produced quite a bit of albums, so self-publisher and singer-songwriter and a meditator. Spent years studying the mind, so mindfulness practices, and as of the last 5 years, human design. So I'm a 1-3 splenic projector, and I'm here to share with you a special experience. This is not just a performance. This is actually a transmission. I do something that's unique to me. I believe that we're all here to do our unique, special thing, and we're meant to share it with the world. We're meant to grace the world with our specific gift. And so my specific gift is the ability to bring music, and specifically I'm composing on the spot, so it's all channeled, it's all improvised. And this music is coming for the purpose of connection, healing, increasing trust, and helping one another to remember our powers. It's all about healing ourselves. So you're gonna watch me channel. You're gonna watch me in a space of trust, because I don't know what's coming through me. I don't know the music. I've never played it before. Have you ever watched when people are, improvising? There's a sense of surrender. They have to be so present in the moment. And so that's what's going on with me. And so I have to walk my talk by being fully present, because if I'm not present, then my audience knows. And so there's that kind of level of commitment. It's like a devotional presence for my part. And so you're invited to witness that. And that's my offering to the world. It's a special modality that I created, and it's culminating everything that I've ever studied in my life. So cello performance. I went to the New England Conservatory of Music, studied with Larry Lesser. I've been at the amazing New World Symphony in Miami Beach, and I also met my spiritual teacher, who was with Osho right after graduating. So I spent years and years of studying the mind, and that led me also to human design and to really understand very deeply the way how to do deconditioning as a result of going through very deep conditioning myself. Very, very deep. I mean, I studied about conditioning around my teacher, but there was also conditioning going at the same time, because it's just part of life where we learn through what doesn't work a lot of times. And I can share with you my personal story. You can actually read about it on my website, on my blog. I share quite a bit about it. And also, if you'll meet me, I'd love to share with you about it. As I work one-on-one with individuals, the specifics of my design are actually that's what's the inspiration of this offering, because I have realized that the gift is about honoring the uniqueness of your nature. And for that reason, deconditioning is necessary, because we're always looking outside from other people to see how they're doing things, instead of looking inside and recognize how we're meant to do things. Because nobody else has our unique frequency. Nobody else has our sacred geometry. And so that's why it's so important for all of us to be very specific in how we're showing up. In other words, know your nature so that you can know how to honor it, because it's very easy for our frequency to be distorted. And so this offering, it's a modality that I've developed. I'm a projector. That's my aura type. And so that means basically that I get to support others to be able to learn how to use their energy correctly. And the modality aura tuning is a space where not only do I help you get to know yourself better, love yourself better, like have more fun with yourself, understand like how to literally how to maximize your gifts, and like how to run your energy correctly so that you can really tap into your purpose and to your fulfillment, to your unique fulfillment. This is all in alignment with your chart, which I will teach you. I will look at it. I will go as deep as you want me to go. So this process, unlike human design teachers that are more like the classical teachers who really just take you through the process of studying, either it's online or through some courses, I actually combine the cello transmission, because when it goes too much into one side of the brain and it's just information, then it's not enough embodied. It's not enough, in the cells. And the cool thing about playing cello and tuning it to 432 hertz is that the body and the earth become like in resonance. And what the 432 hertz frequency code does for the brain, it activates the right brain, and the right brain is where you tap inwards. Remember how I said that conditioning is really connected to us going out there and outsourcing all of the, rights and wrongs and values and others who will tell us what to do, or even sovereignty. You could be outsourcing your sovereignty. But when you go back inside, and that's where 432 hertz, in combination with a cello, in combination with you witnessing this art of me healing myself as I'm channeling, as I'm trusting, as I am completely in surrender, and not just that I'm channeling this beautiful piece. The piece is inspired by your frequency, because that's part of me being a projector. I absorb your frequency when I'm with you. That's how I can see you really clearly, and that's what makes projectors guides for humanity. And so I'm excited to share with you the video of the cello transmission that I recently gave to my client as part of their aura tuning signature path, which is basically what you'll go through every month when you work with me. And the process is, getting to be more and more familiar with your design, like really understand how your design works, and allow the information to go into your subconscious with the music, so that it's your body's intelligence that gets activated. It's the knowledge is just absorbs a lot more deeper, and so the deconditioning process can be more supported, because it does take time for us to really understand how deconditioning works. It takes about 7 years, and so this process with aura tuning supports that. It supports your ability to really stick to the journey, to really honor your deconditioning process. And it's a really beautiful, sweet, fun way to really get to know yourself and love yourself and feel excited about what it is that you want to offer the world. You might already know what you want to do, but imagine if you all of a sudden had a language to get the specifics, to really understand how you are meant to achieve fulfillment in this life. Like, what are your dreams? Like, what do you want to do? It's all in your chart. It's all in your sacred geometry. And so imagine we can have fun in the process of discovering all that. So I'm looking forward for you to check out this performance / cello transmission. This is the experience that I'm offering. I'm leaving you my information in the description so you can check out my website. And I would love to hear your comments. I'd love to know your experience. I'd love to know how you felt about this video, and hear your thoughts. And you're welcome to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, or you can also find me at the RutiCelliVortex.com or on Instagram at the RutiCelli Vortex. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm very much looking forward to connecting with you. Bye.
really incredible what can happen when you're intending for presence and removing all of the obstacles to sit. And it's very different meditating with this sound healing, because the frequency just, it almost physically pushes away the mind. Like, I felt your notes, like almost the wave of the frequency was physically hitting me. And like I could feel it pushing my body, like there were these ripples coming off of the cello that like I could feel through my body, like a tingling through my body, and this both hot and cold kind of sensation. And I just started to ground into the feeling of that and the feeling of the sound waves, and I just so easily got out of my mind. Like it would try to come in because I was trying to have a vision of a journey, you know, but it wasn't happening. Every time I would try to imagine, there was no imagining. It was just like I was truly in my body. Like I would be stopped and I would be blank. Like even with my intentions going in, you know, releasing this, I had this kind of heartache feeling of wanting to release this heartache with this other person, and I just kept coming back to this feeling in my heart. Like I thought I would feel empty, but I felt so full. I felt so fine that even when I tried to think about it, it's like the sound waves pushed the thought out of my mind and was like, no, like you're feeling full. Like, you know, it was just such a like warmth that you really did set the tone of like, I already am enough, you know. And I really felt this deep love for source or divine or God, this feeling of fullness, of the reality. Like I had a whisper from my spleen of, no man can hold you, only God can hold you. The space that you fill, the brightness that you are, can't be held by a man, only by the divine, whatever that divine entity that you see it as. And that was what was filling my open G center in my heart. And I had no room for grief. Even though I thought it would be nice to move through the grief and move the sorrow, I just had no room in this meditation. There were times where you really played these very strong, loud notes, and I just felt almost like this wash, this like wave crashing of the notes that just pushed everything out of my body, all this negativity and the openness, and you know, the emotions in my open solar plexus, and the exhaustion and the fatigue and all of these open centers, like all of these rocks, bags of rocks I've been carrying in my open centers, and I just dropped them, and I felt like I was floating on this cloud. You know, it just felt so relaxing that like there was no movement other than that. It was like I was just sitting in it for a while. It was such a treat to not have the mind, and to just, because it's always going, it's going. So to have that silence, and every time a thought would come in, it's like the sound just went love, and it was just gone every time a thought was trying to come in. So it was just a really nice thing. So that coming out of this experience, I just immediately like, oh, I can feel the mind coming back in immediately, and I can feel the thoughts, but I still don't have the same rocks and the same weight. I'm feeling a lot lighter, even though my mind is back online and I'm communicating and talking and I'm back online. I don't feel any pain or sorrow. Like I'm not sure why I felt sad before. It's just not really there. So maybe there was something I wanted. I wanted to feel feelings that aren't really there, and I feel detached now. So that's a real gift. So
wow,
thank you for your frequency.